What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Wolfie here, and I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Now, if there is a week where I can say to you, how can Supercoach be so rough, so 180 reverse on you, where you think everything's going good, and in the matter of 2 games or so, it just completely smacks you in the face? Well, this is the round for you. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened this round. Now, I'm not saying I had a bad round. I'm just saying I could have had an exceptionally good round. I could have been anywhere around 1,800 plus. But let's just get into what happened. So, first and foremost, I finished on 606 points. 606. I'd be deleting that right there. 1,606 points, 701 ranks lost, 11,513. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened this week, and whether it gets a chuckle or not, it's completely up to you guys. But okay, so what happened is I had Herbie Farnworth. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying this. As you know, I had Jermaine Osako in my trades trading out for Valentine Holmes. I reversed it. Boom. So happy with that. Cannot believe how happy I was, because obviously there were some injuries. Obviously Jermaine Osako didn't get the Supercoach points maybe I was expecting, and maybe a lot of other owners were expecting, even though I was a very short time owner. So I reversed the trade. After the game, I was super happy because then I had Herbie Farnworth as my vice captaincy loop. Now, this is where everything sort of started and the dilemma occurred. I then go, okay, VC loop calculator. I know that Cooper Byer is likely to be my lowest score. Now, this is something I'm going to have to 100% implement for next year. And you know what? When we play games in general, it doesn't even have to be fantasy. You know, I'm a big survival shooter gamer. I love games like Escape from Tarkov, games, extraction shooters, where you have to like learn from dying. And in Supercoach, you have to learn from mistakes. And the biggest mistake is here, not getting rid of players that can be AE nightmares. And for one, that is Cooper Byer. It's just something I've got to stick with him for the rest of the season. He's $214,000. But with the VC loophole, if I had to take out a player, and this is where it gets really funny, I said to myself, okay, Cooper Byer, he'll get about a 30. He gets 22. Nico Hines had to get an 80 or more for the VC loop to be even. And I said, he can do that. But then I was like, Xavier Willison or KL Iro, which one do I get rid of if I did that? And I was like, I don't know. It would most probably be Willison for me. And then I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go with my gut. Nico Hines, Sharks are in form. Slap the C on Nico Hines. So then what happens? Not only does Xavier Willison and KL Iro get injured, I forgot to put my extra 4th reserve on someone because I was doing the VC loop and like changing so many things. So I didn't have Suafar Logo as a reserve. I didn't have Valentine Holmes as a reserve. I didn't have Tarpanay as a reserve because he was my reserve. So then the only player I had left to reserve was Macassini. So it was a great no trade, but I copped 3 injuries with Toby, Couchman, Willison, and Iro, and I get a 1,606. So this is going to be a very interesting week for trades. If I did trade in Jermaine Osako, it would have felt really awkward now with 3 trades. So I really have to monitor what I'm going to do this week. But funnily enough, if I had Suafar Logo in my team, if I had Valentine Holmes in my team, but to be honest with you, I don't think I ever would have done that. But for him to get 105 against the Dolphins is a massive effort. But just when I look at it, I could have had about this week 1,850-ish. It would have been absurd. Anyway, that's how the cookie crumbles. And again, I went with my gut. Some injuries happened. I made a mistake. It doesn't matter because I'm not nowhere near coming first. So that's my little story for this week. However, we don't lose too many ranks and we don't lose too many points. Okay. I know some people had blinders this week. I think The team of the week was 2040 something or something close around that. That is absurd. That is absurd. And that goes to show with the 6 agains and now teams getting very, very gassed. I think we're going to see some big scores to the end of the season, to be honest with you. Now, going into the wrap up, and obviously, first and foremost, if you're listening on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment if you like the algorithm. Subscribe and comment for the algorithm. But first and foremost, thank you for the support. I do really appreciate it. If you're listening on audio podcast, that is Apple or Spotify, 5-star review. It really, honestly, it does help. So thank you so much to everyone that's done that, because there are quite a few there. So thank you. So yeah, I sat Pasco out for a 42, played Robson instead. My Cowboys got absolutely dominated. I don't want to go over the wrap up too much from that because it actually hurts me inside. I think Toby Couchman is going to be fighting the judiciary tonight. From what I've seen, I could be incorrect on that, but then we'd have to wait on that, because if he gets cleared like Xavier Willison did, well, then obviously he's staying in the team for the rest of the season. Valentine Holmes, he has proven himself, so he could actually, against the Sharks, he won't be coming in, but next week against the Tigers, that's going to be very interesting. So we'll wait and see how that goes down. But let's get into the wrap up, eh? Let's get into the wrap up. I'm actually doing this on a Tuesday, so in an hour, I'm doing the live team list basically straight after this. So 2 in a row. But let's get into it. Roosters versus the Cowboys, 82-12. I'm just going to put it out there. As soon as I watch this game, you'll notice in the first 1 or 2 minutes, Reece Robson nearly makes a break. And as soon as that happens in the first minute, I was like, that's not really what I want to see. And this is an absolute belter. For those of you that own Tedesco, I apologize, including myself. For those of you that vice-captained or captained Tedesco, that really hurts, because he was on an absolute tear. Now, there was words he was in a moon boot. We'll see in the team list if he's listed to play. I have to wait and see. But if he isn't, that's going to be a very interesting sort of conversation where maybe you go straight to a Ponga from Tedesco and just say, that's not something I want to see. I think Ponga is the fullback right now. Everyone should be getting in because he looks healthy. He is commanding the attack. And to be honest with you, I've never seen him look so energized and wanting to win since a long time ago. So it looks absolutely amazing. Mark Nwanganita-Waze, he got 116 points in this one. The try where he just carried like 5 people on his back, it reminded me of kind of like Vikings. It was just a war moment. It looked absolutely sick. Sam Walker, I spoke about him in the last game of Origin period where I said, if you want to get a pod, Sam Walker is the guy. And he has absolutely come on and torn apart this Cowboys team. And when you're playing sport and everything's going your way, this was that game for Sam Walker. 207 points. If you're an owner, congratulations. If you vice-captained or captained him, holy moly, well done to you. Toya, 97, great to see. Ramsey had a good game, but he obviously came on for Tedesco at halftime, so don't read into that too much. Robson, he's been great at hooker position. Honestly, he's been doing so good for me this whole season after when I got him around the Origin period. And against Hugo Savala, he's been great in the team, but is he super coach relevant? He actually can be, especially in a team that scores so many tries. 5'8" position as well, but I don't think you're wasting a trade there. As I said before, the guys you're looking for here, Sam Walker, Marky Mark, Tedesco if he's healthy, and Toya. They're the main guys. Talking about the Cowboys, well, Lukey top scores with Purdue. I've held Purdue. I've held Lukey. And in a game like this, I'll take a 60 every day of the week. They were completely off it. It was very embarrassing, and they couldn't stop the momentum. So I think Braden Burns scored a try in this one for a 48 as well. So that's pretty rough. But with such limited, time, basically having the ball, you'll take Purdue's and Lukey's score. Also, to say, it'll be very interesting. I know they want to look at implementing the new kickoff rule in a game like this where, Roosters score and get on a run. I just think everyone's going to say, well, sort of like, we'll kick it back to us. I don't know how I feel about the rule, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this was just a complete demolishing. And yeah, for Keddy, he's also a really nice player. Someone we could look out for maybe next season, but Nothing else much here to talk about. Dragons versus the Dolphins. Dragons just lose again. They're really playing some better footy. Valentine Holmes, 105. Ryan Couchman, 123 with a try. Clint Gutherson, a 91. Toby Couchman getting injured. This HIA, obviously, protocol here. We'll have to wait and see with the judiciary. But if that's the case, Ryan Couchman numbers are going to absolutely go insane, I think. Even someone like Hamish Stewart, they'll go pretty big. I don't know, maybe a Dylan Egan, but yeah, Couchman owners, if you still have him, get ready. It could be huge for you. They have Sharks this week, so just don't hop on. Maybe don't hop on yet, but you could if you want, for sure. Bostock was amazing this game for a 79. I've held him and I'll hold him for the rest of the season. Cobbo, he's a great pod now, in my opinion. 101 here. He's sitting at 696,000 with a 76 break even. We know the Dolphins have a good run. This team could start scoring some really nice points. And I'll be honest with you, the Dolphins haven't been, yes, they're getting the wins, but they're not as fluent as what they were a bit of a while back. The good thing about the Dolphins is even when they kind of don't turn up a bit, they're still going to score a bit of points. And that's what I like about them. And that's just good for you super coach wise. Jermaine Asako in this one, what did he get? He ended up with a 47. So he creeps down now to 676,000. So he could be a nice little grab if you didn't want to go Cobbo or looking for a Dolphins player that you don't have in your team. Finafuiaki, 80. He could be a great Toby Couchman or Xavier Willison replacement, and I think that is a fine choice. He has been super good and come back to sort of his old self, and he was very close to some tries, so I reckon he's going to go over in the next game or the following week, in my opinion. Again, nothing else to talk about the Dragons. For the Dolphins, halves wise, Nicarima 57. Yeah, he does some work here and there, but I just don't think he's super coach relevant, to be honest with you. Lemuelu, 63. And Katoa didn't play this one, right? Yeah, so he'll be back this week, I dare say. And that'll be... Oh, wait, he did for a 35. He didn't re-injure himself, I don't think, but he got a 35 in this one. So, yeah, obviously Herbie Farnworth, 122 as well. Absolutely massive in this game. And also in this game, if you're thinking Asako had a bad game, he didn't. It was as soon as they just kept easily scoring on the left, or the right of the Dragons, but the left for Dolphins, they just said, all right, we're just going to keep feeding Herbie and Cobbo, basically. So don't read into that too much, because that's just how they work. And once the right side clicks off again, they'll feed Asako, etc. All right, let's go to the next one. Storm versus the Bulldogs. Wow. Okay. I admit when I'm wrong, and I am wrong. Suafar Logo. I said this is the week that I am going to fade Suafar Logo, because no Jerome Hughes, that came out late. No Cameron Munster. All I would have thought, Cameron Samot on the team said, the whole game, just watch Suafar Logo, and whenever it looks like it's going to him, just crash onto him. That's literally what I thought was going to happen. And Bulldogs didn't really do that, or I should just say Suafar Logo is just a super coach beast, and he's bulletproof, to be honest with you. He's an absolute stud, 107 points. He's just someone that if you got rid of him before, you are kicking yourself, because I think that is the difference in making a correct super coach decision on holding a player. And he has just been a staple piece this whole season. Even when things got rough, a lot of people wanted to get rid of him. The Storm aren't clicking, and look at what he's doing now. Tyron Wishart sits 76 as well. Stefano Otoy-Kamanu, 66. Not a massive game like he's had in the last couple of weeks or so, where he's popped off and got some tackle busts and line breaks, but you still live with a 66 for those of you that have him in the front row forward position. And for the Melbourne Storm, I'm not looking at anyone else at all, to be honest with you, besides maybe Keeley, 64 here. He's been doing some work, and people have been talking about him. Bulldogs, Stephen Crichton. A lot of people question him in his position of 5'8". Well, he's doing wonders there, to be honest with you. 122 points. Salmon, 112 points. Kikau, he's been looking really good as well. If you want to look at a bit of a pod play, maybe it is a bit of a Crichton play in your 5'8" position. But for those of you that held Tamari and Martin, you won't be doing anything there. Kikau's been looking really good. For those of you that went on to Preston, I mean, when they score 36 points and he gets a 68, I think that's kind of mediocre in my opinion. You've got Rinakama, Burton scoring more than him. And I think Kikau's the guy that you'd go to out of the two RFs, in my opinion. The real one here is Kiraz, 42 points only in a 36-point win. That really, really sucks. And he's been someone that's been a staple piece of Supercoach, but look now. It's really hurting, and it's really weird to see, but maybe it's a bit of injury. Maybe he needs a bit of off-season rest, but he plugs away. He is a warrior, but it sucks if you own him because you expect a bit more out of him in games like this. Let's go to the next one. Titans versus the Warriors. Here you go, the bounce back from the Warriors, and this is why I say to hold people like Tamari Martin. Everyone wanted to rush to Jaden Campbell, and I said, just imagine Warriors pumping like the Titans and Jaden Campbell goes for like a 54, and look what happened. Exactly that. And the fact of the matter is, it's not Jaden Campbell's a bad player. It's the Titans suck, and you don't know what Titans you're going to get. Is it the Titans that are a top 4 defensive team in the first half, or is it the Titans that let in 30-plus points? And this week, at their home, mind you, they get absolutely obliterated. And in my opinion, the Warriors are the second best team in the comp. That's me. That's what I think. I think if there's someone that can beat the Penrith Panthers, it's either the Dolphins or the Warriors. I don't think anyone else can beat Penrith on their day besides these two teams. I love the forward pack. We have to remember that Jackson Ford is still out of this team, and they're clicking. Luke Metcalf hasn't even come back in, and I don't think he will. I think he's not going to play for the rest of the season unless things look really, really tough for them, or unless an injury happens. Aaron Clark, a 93 in this one for owners there. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm just going to check right now. Eddie Laramaya Tuava. He got 119 in this one, so congratulations if you're an owner for him. There's 268 teams right now that have him. Laban, he's been absolutely massive, 110 Supercoach points. He now sits at a 25 break even, just over 500,000. Khan Pereira, he returns for owners with a 93. That's really nice to see. Halasima had a really good game, but again, Supercoach-wise, even when he has a really good game, a 79 in a 42-point win. So it's just he doesn't deliver like that Lucas 110, that type of stuff. But still, you'll live with it, and you're happy to see it. DWZ 68 in this one. Mitch Barnett 73. That's nice to see. I think Jackson Ford will be back soonish, but yeah, again, they're playing some really good footy and a great bounce back win for them. Pascoe 42 in this one. So for those of you that played him, you're not going to get rid of him, but I think you're going to play your other hooker if it's a better player. Like you might have Harry Grant. You might have Blake Brayley and Pascoe. I don't know if people would. I have Pascoe and Robson, so I'm playing Robson from here on out unless I need to play Pascoe. Tino gets a 58 in this one as well. Kinney 63. I mean, the top scorer was Fermor. That tells you all you need to know. Panthers versus Raiders. Boom, bam, boom. Nathan Cleary, 147 Supercoach points. Absolutely dominated this game. And just a reminder of the competition that, yes, Nico's doing amazing things, but he's the GOAT. 147 points, absolutely massive. Timiko had a massive game here, 99 Supercoach points. He's actually in my NRL fantasy team, even though I lost in my fantasy for my head-to-heads. Very different game. That's something I had to adjust to, but still was super fun to play. Hosking delivered with a 75, which I did not expect against the Panthers, to be honest with you. Tarpanay 61. Paddy a nice 69, so he got back after the bye, I think it was, and tore back in. But yeah, it was just like, you know, when you've been playing well, but you're versus a team that's just on another level. This is exactly what happened here. Jenkins, 92, beautiful. For people that VC Jenkins over Cleary, unfortunate. Papali'i, 98, a lot of people going there for some trades. I don't believe in it yet, but Isaiah Yeo, 106. He'll get rested soon, that's for sure. But beautiful there. Jack Cole, Cogger looked absolutely better with this team than Blaze did, in my opinion. I don't think we'll see Blaze for the rest of the season, or we'll see him on the bench and maybe come on for a bit of a spark play and be there as a bit of, hey, I can play fullback if needed. I might be able to play wing if needed, or I can play 5'8" position if something happens. But in my opinion, we're not going to see him back for a while. I think Cogger will be slotted in. McLean, 53. To me, he's just not a super coach guy. I don't think he ever will be anytime soon. It's just he doesn't have the work rate like a Bradman Best or a Dylan Lucas has type thing. I don't know. It just doesn't equate when you score 42 points and he's only getting 53 of them. And Jenkins is on his edge as well. But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. Nothing much to talk about here. Brian To'o, 33 as well. That sucks if you do have Brian To'o in your team. Maybe he's someone you look at getting rid of. This was a massive upset to me. The Knights winning 30-6. Now, I'm not saying I didn't expect the Knights to win, but Broncos just suck. And Reece Walsh, you know what? There's one player I have right now that I'll never bring in again. That's Tommy Turbo. I've been hurt so much by him. I don't know how these guys at like SC Playbook and all the other content creators, because this is my third season of Supercoach, right? How they've played for 5 to 10 seasons and consistently go back to Turbo. You guys are crazy. I am never touching him again. Mark my words. I don't care if his first 3 games are Gold Coast, Perth Bears, and whoever else that's crap on the ladder next season. I don't care. I don't care. That guy could walk over a branch and lose just do his hammy. I'm just done with him. But let's get back to the Broncos Knights. Kalen Ponga absolutely orchestrating everything. Fletcher Sharp got the easiest first try in this game. And when that happened, I will say this, and I mean this with no disrespect whatsoever, but Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt, they just hang up the boots. You've had a great time of footy. Honestly, last season should have been your last season, in my opinion, and should have ended on the premiership win. I know money's money, but I just think the injuries, the lack of the incorrect decisions, the poor decisions, missed tackles, it does amount to your team losing, and they're not the sole reason they lose. But I just think when Adam Reynolds gets injured so much and then things have to change, it's just really annoying for the team. And he's been such a great player, but I just think this season should be the last, in my opinion anyway. Reece Walsh, 59. Yeah, I'm not even going to speak about the guy. I want to trade him out, to be honest with you. I'm so over it. It's like another Turbo situation, but he's actually on the field for 80 and does worse. Payne Haas, 74. He's most probably just like, get me out of here. Get me to Souths. Marju, 107. It's been really, really hard that I traded him out, I think 3 rounds ago, and he's popped off the last 2-ish or 3-ish. So, yeah, that sucks. Francis Manuel-Lua, he's been playing amazing footy. Gets a 76 in this one. One of the nicest passes I've seen, especially from a back rower. Well done. Dominic Young, a 91 in this one for people that own him. Bradman Best, 68. And you know what? Without Dylan Brown, I actually like them with Sandon Smith, but without Dylan Brown and Dylan Lucas, they put up a great score and they put up a great fight and they played some great footy. So they're not out of it. I just think when they need that grunt, that's going to get them in the sort of arm wrestle games, because this wasn't an arm wrestle game, as you can see. But Kalen Ponga looked absolutely amazing, and he's someone who I think you should be targeting for the run home. Nothing else to talk about the Broncos. Don't go anywhere near them. And obviously, Xavier Wilson, very unfortunate lash to his thigh that saw him get a 3 and not come back onto the field. So that absolutely sucked for me, because he's been playing great, great footy. 32-16, the Sharks versus the Rabbits. And I was scared at the start because I was like, oh, South's actually playing pretty good footy. And then, boom. Sharks just sort of clicked into gear. The momentum continued, and Hines 133, absolutely massive. Ronaldo Mulatalo 101, Sione Katoa 31. So there's that flip of like which winger is going to be the Supercoach scorer this week, and it was Ronaldo Mulatalo. Blake Brayley, Braden Trindle, in my opinion, the best 5/8 hold this season by far. If you started with Braden Trindle, congratulations. That is honestly a massive decision. And I think he's just been absolutely phenomenal, especially when Nico Hines was injured. Yeah, it's just, I didn't expect it. I don't think a lot of people did, but he's in 13% of teams and he's been absolutely amazing. McInnes, he gets a 64, not really Supercoach relevant in my opinion. Fanua Blake, 82 with a try in this one. Just remember that. Blake Brayley, 91. Here it is. For those of you that traded to him, that's exactly why you do it. They're going to have a nice run as well. He might get rested though, so just be wary of that. But still, if he's in your team, that was a correct play to make for sure. Last but not least, the Tigers versus the Eels, and it seemed like it was Adam Dewey versus the Parramatta Eels in this one. 103 points for Adam Dewey. Terrell May, 83. and 1272. They're the three main ones we really need to speak about. I don't think anyone else is really diving into any other players from the Tigers. I don't think you go anywhere near them besides Terrell May and Alex Twal. Adam Dewey, I mean, look, they versed the Eels in this one. They scored 13 points, and that's against the Eels, who, yes, have been playing a bit better footy, but nothing like crazy better. And yeah, it's just, I can't read into the Tigers too much off these scores. The highest Supercoach score for the Parramatta Eels was 67, and they won the game with 16 points. I don't even know how that works out. Iongi 67, Samrani 65, Jack Williams 62. So, yeah, do we really need to speak about that too much? Not really. Jack Williams owners, I mean, you'll take it. You expected a bit more in this one, I think, but still a 62 is completely fine. Better than being injured, that's for sure. And that's your wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. Round 22. Now, it's 3:20 p.m. for me on Tuesday, so I'm going to get this out. Then I'm going to prep up for the team list video. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please put in the comments below what you got for the week, how many trades you have left, and if you have a boost left randomly. That would be great to know. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next one. We'll be here from the Rage Traders. Peace.